things that with the lack of pressure from Mach, I mean, obviously they already are in. All they're working on right now is if they get a win, they're no longer fighting on being that 6th number seed. So if they do get a win here, it basically only helps them out in the brackets for the regional championships that we're going to see in 2 weeks. But you never know. I mean, at any moment, we talk about how there's always pairings that work together. Fairy Peak and K-Dop are a very scary pair to fight.
Well, Europe, are you resonant? I know I am. Resonant Esports and Resonant Esports are going to start your day off. Game number 1 in this best of 5. Resonant needing 1 win, fighting against Mach first off today. See if they can get themselves into the regional finals. Mystic, though, as we just talked about him, is going to grab that first goal, setting them in the lead.
Fantastic pass play coming out from Mach as well. Fairy and K-Dop working their way up the field, but they decided to take K-Dop out of the play. Doesn't matter. Mystic sitting back, comes in, and then puts a beautiful shot top right.
There it is. Easy, clean shot. Nothing too fancy about it. Mach puts themselves in the lead within the first 20 seconds already. Resonant not off to the right start. Can they answer? They try a lot. Puts that just a little bit in the reach of the defense, and unfortunately for Resonant, Mach will be able to save that one. Keeps themselves at a lead. There's another one. Fairy Peak going for the dunk. Since the defender missed it, he did as well. Another shot from Mystic, blocked out by Mets. Great save. Fairy Peak not giving up yet. Look at Mach just pouring on the pressure as Resonant is trying to break out on their own end. This might be a chance here, but a lot can't get control. Mystic to K-Dop. Fancy little spinaroonie there, but he won't get a touch on it, and that will end up back down into Mach's end. Finally a chance for Resonant, but already a rough start.
Smart decision there as well by K-Dop. Looking to challenge, but knew he wasn't going to get there in time, so he backs off and then tries again. Working out for them, maintaining possession. Just soft touches all over. Trying to get something happen as K-Dop takes a shot, gets beat out by a lot.
Well, that's something that I think Resonant needs to watch out for. You see Mach going for a lot of dunks. They're trying to read everything, and if you get read this entire match, you're not going to find yourself in the lead at all. Mach now with control, oh, taken away by a lot. Can't really find his footing in the corner there. He will fall away. Mets, bad positioning, will be caught underneath the ball. Magnus and a lot will have to try again from the defensive end. Still only a 1-goal lead for Mach. Resonant still trying to answer it. Mach still looking pretty comfortable on the field. Strong rotations, especially on defense, are allowing them to break out pretty quickly here. There's a touch out to Mystic. Won't be a shot, but at least will be pressure, and that's what Mach needs. Another chance here. K-Dop can't squeeze that one by. A lot will be able to push it to the corner. Now another chance for Resonant, but they lose possession once again as soon as they break out of their own end. And Mach moves that one quickly right back down into the orange side.
Mach doing a really good job of all the little things. Saves on net are being placed in the corner. They're going up and following those reads like you're talking about, as well as just utilizing their ability. You saw K-Dop there in the last bit. Oh, a shot coming up from Mystic up by 2 at half.
There it is. Beautiful passing play from Mach. No real resistance on the defensive side from Resonant, though, and they'll grab their second goal.
No, Magnus just sitting on that boost. It looks like he was out, but it doesn't matter. Mystic's going to take a good touch back inside with the help of his team. Up by 2 at the half. Fairy Peak and Magnus going for the kickoff in favor of Resonant.
We'll see if they can continue that pressure down the field, though. They haven't done a very good job of maintaining any kind of offensive presence in Mach's end. As that possession quickly hands back over to Mach. A shot, though, a little bit wide. No finish from a lot. Magnus to back off. Mets with chip up will be stolen away by K-Dop and Fairy Peak as they move upfield. Slowly moving along each other's sides there. They'll lose control. Resonant now with a chance to put it the other way, but again, so many times Resonant giving away that possession. That's not how you get any kind of control on the field. Almost a dunk from K-Dop. A lot will back off for Mets to move up. All 3 Mach in the corner there. If Mets can get that one out to Magnus, might be a chance. The dunk, the drop down in the box. Mystic's going to be out of the play, though, so he won't be there in time to really finish that one off. Mets will try again from the midfield. A misread will force a lot into the play. Might be able to set something up here. He's got Magnus and Mystic there. Or so not Mystic, Mets. A lot by himself. Final minute approaching, still down by 2 goals. Resonant not looking too strong in this first game.
No, as that pass goes out in the midfield, Fairy Peak able to follow it up. He's going to take the air dribble down, but is saved by Magnus in front of the net. Immediately responds by a lot as him and Mets try to move this downfield. Works out in their favor. Mets trying to get another touch back inside. But will he be there for the no? The save coming out from Mockett.
Way too late to that one, almost acting as if he was on a delay. About 2 seconds behind the play. Put himself out of position. He rushes back to net as his teammates try to create kind of a distraction in the corner there for Mockett. A lot now with the power through. 30 seconds approaching. Resonant still down by 2 goals. Mockett looking pretty strong in this first one, looking to hold on to this lead, and they will grab the first win in this series as long as they can hold off Resonant for 20 more seconds, and it looks like they might be able to. A self bump there. Look at Magnus taking out Mets from the play. Complete lack of cohesion here on the side of Resonant, and with 10 seconds left, I'm going to say Mockett's got this one in the bag.
A lot of it has to do with those little things, but so close are they getting, just not able to find the net. Thing that has plagued them all season, yet again showing up here. And it really does come down to Mockett. Just those little things as K-Dop looks like he wants to dribble that in, but can't settle it as that ball settles down and touches the ground. First game, Mockett.
Yeah, Resonant, I don't know, just wasn't the strongest looking team on the field there. Mockett didn't even look like they had to have much challenge really against Resonant. Resonant wasn't giving much on the offensive side. They got caught in their own end, and even there, they weren't able to find any chances to break out. No chances to break out means no goals for you.
Yeah, a lot of it really did have to do with just the simple things. Fairy Peak and Mystic working together well. Every goal's been assisted so far, and a lot of it did have to do with just, okay, K-Dop and Fairy are going to move downfield. Well, either K-Dop gets taken out or misses the shot, and guess who's there to fill it in? Mystic, and it worked out every single time. It was nothing too special. It was just very textbook play. But the reads, like you talked about, you saw how early they were able to do that.
Yeah.
They just had their number. Everything they were doing, they're like, all right, we're waiting for it. Or they did stuff that was different on defense that I don't think Mystic gets enough credit for. As soon as that ball was played in one corner, everybody that was siphoning over to that side, he would immediately misdirect it back to the other side. Everybody's already committed to the other side. They're able to move it up, no contest, good to go. It was really smart.
But now on the side of Resonant, they need to do something to come into game number 2 again. They're fighting for their chances just to be in the regional finals. Something needs to change in game number 2. I mean, a lot of times it looked like they were hesitating for their plays. A lot did it. We saw Magnus happen to him at one point where they're out of position because they're not committing to any of these plays. Even getting up for 50-50 works. It puts pressure on your opponent, forces them into a move, and maybe makes them make a mistake. When you give them that much room, especially a team like Mockett, they're just going to take control of you. And Mockett, once again, looked very comfortable in game number 1, but Resonant has still the rest of the series.
Yep, if you guys are just joining us, 1-0 in the series in favor of Mockett. They're trying to not be number 6 in the regional the regional playoffs coming up. As for this Resonant team, they just need a win to make sure that they are going into those championships rather than Penta, who is sitting watching these.
Ooh, on the goal line, they maintain control. It was a little bit scary. No one there from Resonant to pressure that at the start of game number 2, and we remain scoreless first 30 seconds in. Mockett moving down the field again, trying to get that first goal. See if they can grab it and maintain it. Mets now with a chance, one-on-one situation. K-Dop comes from the flank, a lot too low on the touch there. That'll end up back down the other end. Magnus and Mets, that duo moving back to defense. There's a transition on offense. A lot late to the play, but doesn't matter. The defense of Mockett struggling to get back together, and now Resonant will take the first goal.
Not the cleanest pass. Wow. Not the cleanest pass play from Resonant, but it worked out. That subtle touch popped a little bit differently than I thought it was going to. I thought he was going to pass it back to the original touch, but instead, a lot swings in and gets a goal. Just that misdirection is what they've been looking for, and every single time you see Matt's part of the play, they just do so well.
First minute in now, Resonant sits up. We saw Mockett start that game number 1 off in the lead, but Resonant's going to take control of this one right off the bat. We'll see if an answer comes out here from Mockett as they put an attack on right off the kickoff. 2 people in net there for Resonant. Magnus Mats will be able to move that back to midfield. Losing control to Mystic as he snakes his way through that play. K-Dop trying to get a dunk, misses that one a lot. We'll get the clear. Mets already moving up, trying to get some early pressure on that, but he'll be out of the play again. Now K-Dop, control at midfield a lot, stole that one away. Hard clear from Mystic. We'll put it right back down into Resonant's end. They'll play this one slow. Missing the boost there. Magnus will give that over to K-Dop. Fairy Peak will steal the ball himself. Mets losing the 50-50 in front of the net a lot. The softest clear I've ever seen will get taken back by Mystic. And they're still stuck on their own end. Resonant did grab the first goal, but they're having difficulty now keeping Mocket out of the play. And that might spell trouble if they start to allow more and more shots to pile on. Mocket will eventually break one through.
Credit does go to Mocket on that, spreading the field very well. As soon as the ball is getting cleared up on the wall, there's someone from Mocket able to push it right back in. They need to use that infield to make sure they're clearing it out. Otherwise, the pressure of Mocket will squelch them.
Well, you talk about Resonant having a lot of shots, but not a lot of goals. At this rate, they're not getting any shots, which means even less goals. They have one. As long as they can hold off for the next 2.5 minutes, they'll be fine. But that's not the best strategy really to employ here as Mocket. They definitely know how to score. Mystic looking to set up some plays here as he first tries to clear it out of his own end. K-Dop follows that momentum through, but they'll lose possession. Now Resonant moves it back down, back and forth between these two teams as one of them tries to find any kind of scoring opportunity while on offense. This might be a chance here. No, Mets will put it back to the corner. Mystic with a bounce shot on target. Magnus forced to clear that one away, but the pressure immediately back by Mystic. Very big off the crossbar. A finish by K-Dop. Incredible play from Mocket.
Pass plays finally coming through. Mystic actually turning around while he's still on the wall to play that back inside. The initial shot doesn't pay off for Fairy Peak, but K-Dop, as you know, their biggest goal scorer, I think he's 5th right now in EU, able to secure that one. They're all tied up, 1:45 left in game number 2.
Resonant held off for the first bit there as they grabbed the lead in the first goal, but eventually, as we said, did break to that Mocket pressure. And it might happen right again. Fairy Peak sets that down as a pass. K-Dop will be a little bit too wide to put another one. We're all tied up with 1:30 left. A lot trying to bring themselves back into the lead on the goal line. Mystic maintains composure and does steal that one away from the blue line. A shot from a lot. No finish from teammates. Magnus facing the wrong way will give control back over to Mocket.
Glad Mystic maintain composure though, because I sure as heck did. Oh, it was a close one. Able to take that flick back inside in front of his own net. That is dangerous.
Oh, it's rough. You have to just have that presence of mind to say, I got this still.
Usually you see teams panic and they like all jump at it and completely stop rotations, and that's where the own goals really come from.
Well, that's how you just break any chance to break out of your own end as well. We are tied up, 1 minute left. Resonant still looking to grab a single win in this series as they look to keep their dreams alive of getting into regionals and eventually getting to that LAN. Mocket trying to kill those dreams right now as they sit up 1 in the series, but they're tied up in game number 2. Fairy Peak out of boost, will have to back off. K-Dop into the play for him. Mystic way back seen. Magnus has a chance to put one on target. Very close call there from Mystic. He lands on the wall, almost grabs another clear. K-Dop will have to be the spider touch instead. Midfield, 10 seconds left. Mocket might be looking for an overtime, maybe, unless Fairy Peak can create a play here. Mystic moving up quickly, but there's Mets with the steal away. A lot to keep that one going down the other end. Shot on net, just stopped out momentum, almost carried through to drop that ball in the net. Resonant so close to scoring a goal, but kickoffs can change everything.
Those shots adding so much pressure to that back line, but in our first overtime, Resonant and Mocket starting to pick up the pace compared to the previous series that we saw them. The pressure becoming more and more prevalent as Resonant still trying to find the back of that net consistently.
Shot from K-Dop, stopped by Mess. 20 seconds into overtime, still tied up, 1-1. Mocket gets 1 goal. This will set themselves at match point and force Resonant to try again later in the day to get themselves into regionals. 50-50 there for Resonant. Can they get control? No. Mocket sets that one out to midfield. Mets slowly taking this, allowing his teammates some time to get back to defense, probably knowing he wouldn't be able to put that one onto offense. At least just having a presence there at the ball forces Mocket into a hasty decision. They weren't able to create a play out of that, and now Mocket finds himself back on defense. Missed 50-50 there from a lot. We'll let Fairy Peak set up K-Dop, but K-Dop can't get control. In the corner now, a minute into overtime. Resonant still looking for that one single goal that will tie them up in this series and make it 1-1 in this best of 5. Easy save there from Mystic. A second shot coming from Magnus will get stopped out on the goal line there. Mets do a lot. A finish off. Great passing play from Resonant. and they'll grab themselves a win in the series.
These clears just not far enough for the favor of Resonant. Eventually they transition it with the counterattack and then just constantly apply that pressure, making sure that every single clear they're capitalizing on those opportunities, and they finally put one in the back of the net. They are still in this. We are all tied up.
Well, there you are. Resonant grabbing a win in the series as Maka took game number 1. Game number 2 going to Resonant. We'll see if they can keep this up. They definitely started to speed things up. They know that they were not performing up to what they would like to in game number 1. We've seen a change coming into game number 2. The question is, will they maintain that or accelerate that? And will Maka answer in game number 3?
Well, it's frustrating still for them. 10 shots on net, only 2 finding the back of the net. They need to clean that up. A lot with 8 shots on his own. Just not able to put it in, but making them count when they matter most. Able to get the victory, which is what it really comes down to. So kudos to them, but if they clean that up, Maka's going to have some trouble.
1-1 in the series right now. Resonant looking to grab 1 win today. They have 2 matches, 1 win today to grab themselves a spot in the regionals, pushing Penta out into 7th place. And I'm sure Penta again is watching at home.
That's got to be frustrating for Penta to have to sit and watch, and if Resonant doesn't take this, they then have to watch the rest of the day as well, which it should be anyway. But then they have to watch them play flip side, and they're like, all right, they got this. But what happens if then, like, Resonant starts showing up again? It's like, uh-oh, like, you don't want to leave that in the hands of your opponent. It's not a fun feeling. We've seen it happen way too many times in the RLCS. Penta having to be in that position again this season.
Yeah.
At least they made it in this time, though.
Putting your fate into someone else's hands is nothing, or something that you never, ever want to do. And that's what's happened here. But Resonant still can control their own fate as they are looking for a win. They're tied up in the series 1-1 now against Maka. Maka now can answer against what Resonant just showed them. Enough speed to get themselves a win, but it was in overtime. Will it be enough coming into game number 3? We'll find out. Maka on the early defense here as a lot puts a shot on target. Early goal, 15 seconds in, and they find the back of the net.
Magnus and a lot again working so well together. That touch, even though it wasn't where he wanted it, it forced them to make a save and drew that defender out of the net. For there, the clear wasn't good enough. A lot's waiting and puts that shot on net. Working on that accuracy already, and it's paying off.
I mean, it's a big part of the matter, or any kind of competitive situation. Wait for your opponents to make a mistake, and that's what K-Dop did. Drop the ball down, and there was a lot ready to take the shot. A second one coming up from Resonant quickly. Kickoffs seem to be their specialty right now as they almost grab themselves a second goal, but now will be a chance for Maka to really recuperate, set up some plays of their own, see if they can answer this one. Resonant, early goal up, almost a second. Mets way too far off from that one. Ball slowly drifting on the goal line, I'm sure. Maka was puckered up on that one, hoping that wouldn't go in. It didn't. They were able to keep it out. They're still looking for a goal. Off the backboard, no follow-up from Fairy Peak. Mets will be sent to a lot. He can't get a touch. Tried to flick that one over that midfielder there from Maka. But it will go back into the hands of Maka. Magnus trying to steal it away for a play, but a lot approaches that one a little bit weird. At least he gets in the way of K-Dop. He wasn't able to get that clear when he wanted to, and that'll allow Mets and Magnus to be able to create a little bit more pressure here. And they're still on offense, trying to find a play, though. That's the next situation they're looking for.
Well, the last time we saw both these teams actually play against Northern Gaming, the team that I think most of us think is the best in EU right now, just by their play style and how fast they've been going. For Resonant, it was last week, and then for Maka, they had a bye, so it was week 3. Games were pretty close for Maka. It's just they had one standout player being Mystic. He's been a little bit quiet so far today. He's making good plays, but overall, he's just kind of sat back. The same thing was for Resonant. Metzanares was the guy who showed up, and he's also been quiet. So I'm glad to see these teammates are really stepping up, trying to make it count. But they need to get everybody involved, because when they don't, it just looks kind of sloppy. So far, no one's really taken that charge, and I hope one of these teams does that soon, because they can really make a name for themselves as that shot almost goes in.
Yeah, still a rough spot, but no second pressure there. Coming out from Resonant, Maka will be able to clear that one. Magnus tries again. He saw it in the future, but he couldn't get that shot on target. Had a second chance. Up, try again from defense. Quick turnaround from Maka as they try to get a goal off that counter attack. Fairy Peak still looking for a play. Takes a lot out. There's Mystic a chance. One defender. Plays it slow. Gives time for Mets to come back with that pop-up. Gives a goal away for K-Dop. Smart play from Mystic to allow that even happen.
That aware of mindset to go for the fake, it just completely stops what they're trying to do with that rotation, and they just last ditch hit it on Resonant. It settles perfectly for his teammate on the side of Mocket, and they put it in, tying it up about halftime again.
No, there you are, and if it's anything like last game, we're going to see another overtime. We'll see if Resonant can answer this one quickly. We know they're pretty good off the kickoffs here. At least they showed in the beginning of game number 1 that they were, but they kind of lost it here coming into that third kickoff as Mocket takes control. Boost grab from Magnus. He'll be able to keep a little bit of pressure on this one. A lot. Just putting his body in the way, showing that, hey, I'm here. Make mistakes, Mocket, but they haven't yet. They moved that one back down the other field. Fairy Peak, quickly up into the air. Approaching a minute and a half now as Mocket tries to break out of their own end. A lot. Maybe able to get a pass. He does, out to Magnus. A little bit too far away from him to really put a shot on target. Mets will have to back off. He sees a lot moving back, so he'll put some pressure on himself now. But that ball rolls right out to Fairy Peak, off the crossbar for K-Dop to take another one, and there's the finisher, 2 in a row.
Fantastic pressure coming out. Mystic reading that the whole way and then backing off, realizing his teammate was there for the play. Immediately rotates back. The shot then comes in with those 2 teammates that play so well together, capitalizing on that mistake. A minute later, they're now up by 1. Can they hold it off? But it just doesn't seem to matter as Resonant has been doing a good job pressuring this team as a clear comes out from a lot into the midfield, going over this entire defense. Let's see what they do as they collect this boost.
1 minute approaching here. Now Resonant finds themselves down. If Mocket can hold off onto this lead, they'll find themselves at match point, forcing Resonant to try again later in the day. That was a rocket, and K-Dop now with a hat trick will be able to finish that one off.
Just everybody on Resonant up so far. You see Magnus deciding to go and collect that boost rather than rotating that, having faith in his teammates, but then he has to come in and make this last-ditch effort, and K-Dop just puts his body in the way and knocks it in.
With 1 minute left, Resonant gives away that lead very quickly to Mocket. Or rather, Mocket takes it by force. K-Dop slamming a couple in a row there. Now Mocket in a comfortable spot coming in that final minute. Resonant's gonna have to make some moves. This might be the moves they needed a lot. Puts that one a little bit too low though. Instead of over K-Dop, that's a drop down, super awkward. K-Dop almost finds a 4th. Fortunately for Resonant, he did in 30 seconds left. 2 goals. We're hitting crunch time now. Resonant might find themselves in a do or die situation coming into that final game if they can't get 2 more. Mets is out of the play and a lot. Trying to set something up, but they're getting stuck. Look at the pressure coming from Mocket. They are all over this ball right now. Finally, Magnus can break out down into the Mocket end, but at 10 seconds left, it is too late, and Mocket gonna grab game at number 3, putting themselves at match point.
K-Dop coming out with a hat trick of his own. The help of his teammates really coming through, and now they are 1 game away from making Resonant really on the tip of their toes, trying to fight to make sure they get a spot in these playoffs.
Well, you heard, or they heard you, sorry, rather, and they started setting stuff up. I mean, both Fairy Peak and Mystic were like, hey, we'll get you 1,000,000 passes, and K-Dop's, all right, I'll finish them. And there he did. As you said, the hat trick. You saw points, Fairy Peak and Mystic just both slamming their bodies onto the goal line to allow, or force, at least, the Resonant defenders to panic.
Right.
And it just opened up those slots where K-Dop then could finish off with the Octane, that big hit, beautiful hitbox, and just slam a couple right in the net.
I mean, it's no Merc, but it'll do.
It's no Merc. That'll be the meta soon. Season 4.
I hope not. Please, please. James is thinking he's the early adapter. He's wrong. Merc is terrible. Don't play it.
Yeah, never follow
It's
suit.
like a flying Twinkie. Like, how do you play that? I don't know, man. It's so weird.
That was weird.
But,
Either way, Resonant is now finding themselves in a rough spot. If they lose this next game, Mocket is going to take it and the series, and they'll have to try again later. You don't want to put that kind of pressure on yourselves. Warm up now. Get it done. Otherwise, you have to sit and wait and watch all those other matches in front of your face for the rest of the day.
Well, that's the benefit, too, for the mental game for them, is they have another chance later. Obviously, they can just send everything in. Like, put all your effort in, put all your eggs in the basket, because if it doesn't pay off, worst case scenario, you still get a chance later. They should go in with zero hesitation and just put it all on the line, because if they don't and they lose, well, so what?
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, you just try again later. Throw everything. Try something experimental at this point. You're absolutely correct. Resonant has nothing else to lose. We'll see if they can pull it off. Resonant Esports hold the lead 2-1 against Resonant in this best of 5. One more win for Resonant. We'll grab them a win, help out their seeding, and force Resonant to try again later in the day to get into the top 6. No early attack from either team as they both try to feel it out. I'm sure Resonant's going to be a little bit more wary coming into this, which may hurt them, but at least hopefully buy them a little bit better defense. There's some pressure from a lot. Beautiful, beautiful shot off the top bar.
A lot's accuracy been looking fantastic this series. Just that pinch coming out from K-Dop, trying to put it downfield. Just kind of smushes it against the wall as it rolls down into a spot for a lot. And then taking care of that opportunity, shoots it in a beautiful placement.
Under a minute, Resonant finds himself up in game number 4, but I think we've seen this one before. I think we've seen this happen. We know very well that Resonant can turn this one around and take a win off of this. Resonant has to be super careful, but at the same time, not too careful that they get complacent.
Complacency has been their issue as Magnus goes up for this aerial, trying to make something of it. Plays it slow. K-Dop reads it pretty well. A big clear downfield as Mystic tries to follow up, gets the touch. Hitting off that post, just barely missing.
Almost a ground pinch, finding that bottom corner. Almost rolled out for a teammate, too, to finish it. He had 2 teammates ready for that follow-up shot. Fortunately for them, it's a little bit out of their reach. Now Resonant with a turnaround. Mets just gets a nose on that one. And that'll allow a lot. Put it right back down into the Resonant end. They're looking for a second goal. Get that lead extended as much as possible. And this could be it. A demo coming out from Magnus onto Fairy Peak. Takes someone out of the net, but there were still 2 left. And that'll be just enough for Resonant to be able to stop that Resonant attack. Real lack of pressure in the box. They can get it down to that end right now. Resonant needs to work on scoring opportunities and not just that pressure potential.
Well, the pressure was there. That demo was really well played. It's just that shot from Mets was off. The shooting percentage of him just plaguing him yet again. As this pressure from Resonant tries to come in, Resonant usually has an answer for it.
And they're still answering now as K-Dop reaches up off the roof. A bad touch. Gives that one out to Resonant. A backboard pass, and Magnus to finish it off, extending their lead.
Resonant not having an answer for that one. K-Dop again with a soft touch back into the midfield. This Resonant team coming in and shutting it down. Up by 2, we're about halfway through this match. Resonant trying to stay alive and secure a spot for the regional championship next week.
2.5 minutes left. There it is. We'll see if they can grab themselves a game number 5. Resonant looking to answer in 2 goals here. A lot. Trying to set up a play. Magnus can't drop into Mets. You saw him ready for that pass. They're going to try again, but a pass over to Mystic. We'll set him up for a play, an air dribble. Can he force this one through? No. Magnus was there to stop that out. K-Dop with the follow-up, though. Fairy Peak backing off scene a lot. Magnus moving forward, creating that counter-attack, but a weak one at that. There will be no finish for them. Still 2-goal lead, though. They really don't have to force anything at this point. Make sure Resonant doesn't score is the real priority here. With 2 minutes left, lots of time for Resonant to be able to pull us back. Lots of chances for Resonant to set up plays that Resonant needs to be on the lookout for. They're still putting on some pressure on the offense, maintaining their presence down that end of the field. With a shot like that, beautiful turnaround from a lot, and another goal, 3 goals into the lead. Resonant finding themselves further trailing behind.
It looks like Resonant has found the answer, just shutting this offense down of Resonant. As soon as that play is put in their side, they immediately put it right back. That infield play now really connecting for Resonant.
It's not only that, it's their offensive presence is much more felt, I think, by Resonant coming into game number 4, and they're having trouble adapting to that. They're not being given as much room to break out and create chances of their own. They're going to have to look out for that. If this comes down to a game number 5, Resonant just has to hold off for 4 more goals. And they're starting to steamroll at this point.
Well, a lot holding off on this one. You see Fairy Peak contest. As soon as he jumps, he lost that 50-50. Need to stay grounded if you're going to jump into those, and only jump right as you're connecting with wall, especially if you're coming from the side. A lot just powers through it and gets himself an easy goal. This has got to feel good going into game number 5.
Oh, absolutely. You just found a soft spot on Mocket's underbelly, and you're about to puncture it. With a 4-0 lead, they're bringing themselves to, very likely, a game number 5 at this point. And they might already have themselves secured a spot if they can pull this kind of gameplay into that 5th game. They just need one win to get themselves into this top 6, the regional finals. And they might find that here in this series. 49 seconds left. Resonant has changed it up. They're looking good. What does Mocket really need to do coming into the final few seconds of this game and into game number 5?
They first in this game need to score a goal. They need to get that momentum back, as this is a very momentum-based game. It's just the mental game is so difficult. Second thing, they need to go back to that aggressive play style. Send everybody. Stop the ball at midfield. They completely stopped reading the other team. They're letting this happen to themselves. You don't see people up preemptively on the wall. You don't see them contesting in the midfield. Look where they're trying to make these saves. Credit of that does go to Resonant, though. They are working this field.
There it is. Final 10 seconds with 4 goals left to go. Resonant is going to be able to take this game and force us to a game number 5. Starting off fairly slow. In all honesty, it looked like it may have been a complete sweep for Mocket had they played the way they played in game number 1, but Resonant pulled it back and are giving us a game number 5. That's a way to start off EU.
Back and forth in the entire series. Mocket getting every other. Same with Resonant, but look again. A lot with 8 shots yet again, but finding the goals a little bit more, getting himself a hat trick.
Yeah, a lot honestly was going off there. A lot of times, I mean, the biggest game changer I really think for that team, and I've always said it, is a lot. When he is on, the team does well. I mean, I guess you find that with any team really at this point, but a lot's always kind of been that one where sometimes he's not at his full potential, and the team suffers because of it. He switched that up. Coming into the final, this game here, game number 4, he was able to say, all right, I need to switch something. He did it. A lot of fast turnarounds. We saw one of his goals, a pass at midfield that he was already rotating back to defense. A quick drift turnaround allowed him to set up for a shot. The defense of Mocket is like, oh, he's rotating back to his net. Let's push forward. And that allowed shot for that, for that long shot. And now they find themselves 2-2 in the series. Game number 5. They're looking strong going into the next one.
Yeah, which is probably making Penn sweat a little bit, but a lot of it has, in the past, been Metzenaars. Metzenaars has always been the leading scorer and the one to set up everything for this team. Magnus usually kind of in that as well, but a lot really stepping up. Metzenaars has kind of got to step his way up to really secure this for them, but a lot's taking that role on his own, and that's fantastic. For a guy that's been around this entire time in the RLCS, he's really making that veteran status show.
Well, we will see what happens as we get down into a game number 5. Mocket was very close to taking the series. They were at match point last game. Resonant has stepped it up. Game number 1 and game number 4 look completely different. And now Resonant 1 game away from getting themselves a spot into the regional finals, knocking Penta down to that 7th spot. I'm sure Penta's on the edge of their seat at this point. As Resonant looking fairly strong coming into game number 4. We'll see if they can hold it up in this 5th one. Mocket on that early attack. Slow play in the corner will allow Magnus to get control, but he can't get it past Fairy Peak. That Batmobile rolling around, a pass to K-Dop. He doesn't commit, though. He knew a lot had the save, and they move quickly on offense. Look how fast after that save a lot said, I'm going downfield. That's exactly what Resident needs to keep up.
Those counterattacks so dangerous as a lot settles the ball here. Immediately contested by Mocket, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Getting in the face of this team, don't allow them to work that midfield and get those pass plays off. You're going to stand a much better chance as K-Dop shadows that in, tries to get a play, but cleared immediately back down a touch, barely missing by a lot.
Still scoreless here. We've seen a few of these games between these two teams get a goal in early, even as soon as 15 seconds. Now a minute 15 in, still scoreless. Mocket trying to set up an attack in front of the net. A 50-50 was in his favor, but I don't think his teammates were expecting that. Mystic forced it in the midfield to create some pressure. A nice read off the top there. Will allow his teammates to move upfield off the wall. Fairy Peak, a pass to K-Dop, a shot just a little bit too high, another one too high. K-Dop with 2 chances and 2 misses.
That pressure was there, just missing the open net. The placement was like almost too good.
If you're aiming for the crossbar, then yeah.
Oh, no, if it was aiming for the crossbar, it's perfect. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the wrong spot to be aiming for, K-Dop. We'll see if we can change that up if they try again. 3 minutes left in this one. Mystic with a demo will find Fairy Peak a shot at the net, but he goes way too wide on that. Mystic can't recuperate a goal-scoring chance out of that one. Mets, nice clear there. Fairy Peak will pick that one up before it exits the zone. Magnus, some slow play to the corner. Should be able to get the boost, not the ball though. K-Dop trying to get a pass out to his teammates. Magnus, the follow-up, forcing Fairy Peak for a beautiful save. Mets will be able to drop this one down. Will it drop down to the box? No, Mystic is there to greet it. Mocket finds himself on their back heels at this point, though. We see some pressure from Resonant. Will it be enough, though, or are they going to back off like we saw them in game number 1? There's Mets, a little bit too late to the play. Mystic, Fairy Peak will be able to move out. A shot from Mystic, wide, a pass, though. Fairy Peak will clean that one up. 1 goal into the lead. Now Resonant finds himself trailing with 2 minutes left.
That quick counterplay from Mocket, just one touch after another. Working down the field, Mystic pass plays on point. Able to play that back inside, and then Fairy Peak able to get to that ball first. Plays it over the top of those last 2 defenders of Resonant. They're up by 1. 2:11 left. Resonant just needs this win to get into the regional championships. Mocket trying to be better than the 6th seed.
A lot with a slow dribble. Can he do anything fancy with it? Not entirely, but at least doesn't get it down into the Mocket end. Could be a chance for Mets and Magnus to get a play started up. Mets will back off. Seen Mock had a chance to set something up. They don't really pull it off, though. That ball will fly all around the field as someone tries to take control. That'll be a lot. 50-50 with K-Dop. He's going to whip that one entirely. Mystic will be forced into the play. Clear from Magnus. No teammate there to follow it up, though. A lot on the far side of the field. Reading Mystic's touch. Gets a weird touch himself, and that'll allow Mocket down the other field. 2-on-1 situation. Mets running back to defense. Does find himself in the right spot to clear it. Some ping pong as either one of these teams now really try to find that play that works out and is cohesive enough to really break past their opponent's defense. Mocket, this could be their chance. Nope. Possession again given away a lot. A shot to the far side. Just off target as that bounces off the bottom corner. They find themselves in the final minute of gameplay now. 1 goal away. I'm sure after that one, they're going to want to get it back. Magnus waiting for Fairy Peak's touch. Very smart. Gets it up to a lot. Puts that one off the crossbar. No finish. He tries to follow it through. Resonant getting so close to scoring here. Another chance potentially. Mystic will steal that dream away as he gets up quickly. 30 seconds remaining. A lot. All 3 of his teammates ready for a play. Off the backboard, back in front of the net, but a little bit too far. A lot Mets in the corner. A bump from K-Dop will buy Mocket some time to hold off on this lead. 20 seconds left now for Resonant to be able to put one in the back of the net. Magnus, a miss. Critical, could be what Mocket needed to buy themselves just enough time in the final 10 seconds of gameplay here to hold off on that 1-goal lead. Resonant, this will be their last attempt. A lot and Mets together. A lot over to Mets, but way too far. They have a chance still. There's Magnus, gets it past Mystic, but he gets a touch. It'll drop down. A lot. The control, the flick on target, and Fairy Peak will set it down. Mystic almost keeping it alive, but one last-ditch attempt there from Resonant dies just short of the goal line.
Those teams both ramping up near the end. So much pressure between, but even with those 8 shots from Resonant, just not able to find the goal again. No goals for them that game. And now Penta still having a chance. Resonant having to find that chance later in the day when they go up against Flipside Tactics, the reigning world champs. Good luck, boys.
That's rough, but from what we just saw, I mean, Resonant has woken up. I mean, they are ready to go. They're warmed up, but the real question is those 4 games in between going to be too much of a break? And will they kind of cool down when they get to the next match? Hopefully for them, not. They still have a chance. They didn't grab it here. Mocket grabs the win. We got a lot more matches, so with that, we're going to go over to the desk.